everybody. Welcome to another edition of the LPTV Disney Morning Show, the show in which Doobie quickly tries to read a message from his wife before getting back to you.
And he fails most of the time.
Sorry, she is just boarding a plane that was late, trying to get down to Southern California, but she is
We'll talk
now
about
on
why in
board.
a few minutes.
We will. And she is now on board. And if you're watching, hon, have a safe flight. Love you. My name is Doobie Mosley, co-founder here at Laughing Place, co-host of this show. This over here is Kyle Burbank,
Hello.
managing editor at Laughing Place. How you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing pretty well.
How was your Disney day yesterday?
My Disney day yesterday, it was up and down, but it was overall good.
You know, we never talk about this. People, you work part-time for LP, but you do work part-time. Your wife works full-time for LP. I founded LP. What is it like to have the job that so many people out there wish they had, where they could just do nothing but talk about and write about and think about and immerse themselves in Disney all day long?
Well, we're different because we cover more than just what did people think of being Disney, and so that's good sometimes, but other times it can get hectic and there's lots of things to manage. And then when you're like, "Hey, we caught up, we completed all the news," and the boss goes, "Queue is empty," and then I have to go find some more stuff to put in.
Is that what I was wondering why? Because I've never seen him type that before.
I don't know what. Yeah, that was weird. And actually, 1 minute after he said that, there was already something else in there. But
that was funny. Ask him that question on May the 4th. Yeah, some days are a little more hectic than others. Bright suns to you. What is with all the Star Wars streaming today? Is there something going on? And hello. Oh yeah, that was our thumbnail, wasn't it? Hey, Rich. Thanks for joining us as always. Nice to see you. All right, we're going to get started today with a look at the money, because without the money,
although
there's
I was
nothing.
going to say, Bright Suns is specific to Batu, and I don't know what my thumbnail has anything to do with Batu. What was the price yesterday, Doobie?
Oh, because we don't do it that way anymore. What's your prediction for the stock price today?
Oh, I just have to guess blindly. I don't get to be reminded. All right.
If you want to.
I think it was like 87, so I'll say 86.70.
All right, so we're officially changing this to within $1. First of all, you've been terrible within 50 cents. Second, it's much easier to do the math. So once again, 86.70 you said?
Yeah.
I'm going to refresh right now, get it up to the minute. 86.39, you are within $1.50. Kyle is coming back. He's now batting 50%. Batting 500, sorry. That's 50%. Way to go. All right, now let's get to the weather, which is kind of exciting down in Southern California, I hear.
Not today.
No, but coming up, which is just crazy. Hurricane. What do they call it in the West Coast? Still hurricane?
Still a hurricane.
All right, so Hurricane Hillary.
At the moment.
The tropical storm Hillary is off the coast?
When it hits California, presumably. I don't know. I haven't checked the weather today. Let me see.
No, that's Ethan's job. All right,
No,
well, let's let Ethan.
He doesn't follow anytime there's like hurricane tracking, we usually go to Twitter, go to the X account, NHC Atlantic. Yesterday I learned there's an NHC Pacific account.
All right, well, let's introduce Ethan and he can do his thing.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Laughing Place Disney Weather Report. Sometimes I feel I've got to clap, clap, run away. I've got to clap, clap, get away from the pain you drive into the heart of me. The love we share seems to go nowhere, and I've lost my life, for I toss and turn, I can't sleep at night. Once I ran to you, now I run from you. This tainted love you've given, I give you all a boy could give you. Take my tears and that's not nearly owl. Tainted love. Oh, tainted love. Let's get to the weather. Anaheim will be sunny today and briefly hit a high of 88 today before retreating to a low of 70 in the evening. Walt Disney World will also top out at 88 today, although theirs will feel 10 degrees warmer than Disneyland's. Isolated thunderstorms are likely in the early afternoon and could pop up again in the evening, so keep an eye on the sky. Castaway Cay is cloudy now but will only be mostly cloudy later today. Meanwhile, they're in for a heat index in the low triple digits today. Disneyland Paris is sunny and in the 70s tonight, which sounds like a Kai pick of the day. Tomorrow, Tokyo will be mostly sunny and reach 93 degrees for a real feel of 105. Shanghai will see a few showers early in the morning tomorrow before more rain moves in around lunch. Luckily, storms should move out by the evening, leaving a night with temps in the mid to low 80s. Speaking of rain, Hong Kong will be rainy overnight and most of the day tomorrow. Through it all, they'll reach a high of 87 with a heat index of 99. That's all for another LP weather update. Today's a great day to follow LP on all of our social accounts, on X, Threads, and Instagram. That's laughing_place. Don't forget the underscore. It's very important. Be sure to follow us and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
It is very important.
So it is currently Hurricane Hillary. It's a Cat 1. It'll strengthen and then it'll weaken. And the current path has it going, making landfall in Baja California, and then working its way up across regular California into Nevada.
That is crazy. Crazy. That was a common occurrence when we lived on the East Coast, but on the West Coast, wow. Speaking of water, check out that segue. Yesterday, we talked to Jeremiah about his experience at Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, over at Epcot, which is not yet open, but is starting to get some previews. So today later yesterday, we got some more pictures from out of there. So we'll go ahead and show those. This is our first, right? This is our first picture of the heart of Tafiti. Is that correct?
I think there have been others.
Really? Actual images? Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I mean, who can keep track at this point? This thing's been in works for forever.
So these pictures came from Disney. The water is inviting you to play, touch the strings of water, and Jeremiah talked about how that works yesterday. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Don't forget that underscore. Well, you don't know. Check out the accounts without the underscore. See what you get. It could be a lot different. I'm not even sure.
Maybe you shouldn't advise things you don't know about.
That is probably true.
There's never been a better time to get
audio ad.
With sound.
Tainted Love. I'm surprised Ethan hasn't done Tainted Love before. I would have thought.
Well, maybe he was torn because it's not really an 80s song.
Oh, that's right. I forget that that's a very old R&B song that they redid. And then we did show this one of Jeremiah yesterday, saying hello to the water, shirt provided by Roosevelt's. We do that because we have to, guys. Don't think we're trying to promote Roosevelt's that much. It is a FTC requirement. And this is a good picture. This is a nice new picture of Tafiti with Spaceship Earth in the background. And I like that it's way out, so it gives me a better sense of what the actual walking is like through there.
Yeah.
So thanks, Disney, for giving this to us and giving Jeremiah the preview. Appreciate that very much.
Play testing.
I would appreciate that, Tony. If you could start a Google Doc for that and share it. No, don't. I am not allowed to allocate Tony's time. I take it back. Did not mean to say that. All right, what's going on? I'm going to leave it all to you to talk about Ahsoka, Kyle.
Yeah, so today is the fan event that we talked a little bit about. Presumably, this is something that's happening, and I don't know if they were planning to have regular premieres, but instead they're doing fan events. There's a few of them. There's one in San Francisco, Hollywood, Anaheim, which is why your wife is heading down to Orange County right now. And then there's going to be one at Walt Disney World as well. So they'll be seeing the first 2 episodes for the premiere. We don't really know what else is in store for them, but we'll have 3 of the 4 that we know. I don't know if there's others in the country that I'm not aware of, but we'll be at 3 different fan events this evening. So we'll be sharing everything that's happening with those, but it should be pretty cool.
Which 3 are we at?
We're going to be at presumably San Francisco. That one's a little bit of a question mark, but otherwise we'll be at Hollywood and at Disneyland.
3 in California. Okay.
It's kind of like their around the world trip where it's a salute to all the world.
So we got the West Coast covered, the East Coast. Yeah, they'll be fine. And so fans are seeing the show today. Presumably then afterwards fans will be talking about the show.
Able to share their reactions, kind of like they did for Haunted Mansion. That when that let out was when that went with the social embargo. So and seeing that we'll have people that'll have seen it, perhaps we will pop up, make sure you ring the bell. Perhaps we'll go live and discuss what they thought, spoiler free, about the first 2 episodes of the show.
Most definitely spoiler free, if we're able to do that. And
the other
then,
reason I want to talk about Ahsoka is because our own Benjamin Breitbart recently did a mini series of articles talking about the 3 growth engines of the Walt Disney Company as laid out by Bob Iger in the recent earnings call. So this is the 3rd one in the series about streaming, and he happened to use Ahsoka because that's the big show that's coming out on streaming. So he kind of looks at the current state of it and how Disney's thinking about streaming at this moment. And it has other 2 articles do a similar thing, looking at the studios and the parks. So you can go check those all out on Laughing Place right now.
yep, all 3 are available. You can find them off our front page. In fact, let me go ahead and put the streaming one in the chat. And I'm hoping that sometime soon we can get Ben on this show and he can kind of talk about that with the people. I wanted to wait until he got all 3 of them up posted on the site. It's invariable that that's going to happen during the show. If anyone knows how to turn the ringer off on an ESI, I don't know the model number, telephone, let me know. I would appreciate that.
I think you should pick it up and hang up on them. I think that's
And they never leave a message, so it's purely sales calls. I get sales calls constantly. When you're the director of IT, they're going to find you and they're going to try to sell.
Oh, see, so based on the ring not being like a full ring, I just assumed that was like the internal like intercom version and not the actual extra. Okay, so that makes more sense now. Because I'm
people
like,
calling
Shamika,
those are people calling my direct line and hoping to talk to Doobie, which I understand. Everyone wants to talk to
I mean,
Doobie.
who wouldn't?
But I'm on the air. That's not possible right now. Right, so that's Ahsoka, growth engine. Encanto, speaking of studios being an engine to the parks and everything else, Encanto is coming to the Skyliner, which is really exciting. Did I get that right?
Yeah, who knew that it wasn't there? So yeah, they kind of, one of the things, so is it September is like Hispanic Heritage Month?
So September 15th through October 15th.
Okay. So they announced a few things for that I don't remember if we actually covered, but Bruno is going to be joining the cavalcade. We got an opening date for the Maribel meet and greet. And then also as part of that, they announced that they are doing a wrap. The Madrigals will get a wrap on the Skyliner, and there'll also be a Coco wrapped bus at Walt Disney.
Yeah, I'm surprised there was. First of all, this is hilarious, Tony. The way to turn off the phone is there should be a little black cord in back, just tug it really hard and all the noises, which I actually could do, just unplug it for this purpose. But sometimes they do call me internally, and that I need to take. So bad influence, Tony. I am surprised there was not an Encanto Skyliner wrap already. I'm also surprised there was not a Coco bus wrap already. So TWL. Yeah, TWL. But anything Skyliner makes the news here. Best attraction in all of Disney World. Is she going to be swinging from the line? That would be cool. They kind of wrap it that way.
That seems dangerous because, I mean, I guess it goes over cars and stuff. Not a good idea.
So I love seeing the wrapped Skyliner buckets. They're great to watch go through the air. But does anyone like riding on them? No. You want to ride on the unwrapped ones always. All right. At Disney World, we had previously talked about how the attraction calendar had come out at the park, but now another calendar has come out, Kyle.
Yeah, so this is the Art of Disney live entertainment. So it's different attraction or, well, not really attraction, sorry. Live entertainment offerings, including some that people might not have remembered existed. Like this first one, the World of Voices. So I'm pretty sure that is for their Asian Islander or Pacific Islander month. That was art that they used for that, and that was the name of the celebration. It was called the World of Voices. So I don't think that's like, I don't think they just told on themselves for like some new offering. I think that was just probably created for that. But it is interesting that they included it. Happily Ever After and some other stuff. But these are really pretty. Definitely a bunch of different art styles. I feel like some of these I like way more than others.
Yeah, the World of Voices looks really good.
It does.
Enchantment I like a lot. That looks like it's going to be July, yes. And Fantasmic August, awesome. Maybe we'll actually have a Disneyland Fantasmic by August of next year. That'd be cool. Yeah, some of these look really great. I even like the Halloween one. See, what I don't understand is why they put the Halloween one on October when Halloween is in August. That's a little
Yeah,
confusing.
that is a little weird.
Although then they have the Villains one in September and the Fantastic one in August, so maybe they really are doing Halloween for 3 months. Yeah, Enchantment is on there. See if I can zoom in for you there. There you go. In July, you have Enchantment. June is Lion King. Festival of Fantasy is on there. What is this? The Up and the yeah,
Up in the yeah.
Ever After. So that looks like a fun one. I love the attraction poster calendar. I used to get attraction, just the official calendar of the parks of the resort. I used to get that every year when I lived out there. But yeah, now they are doing even more, which is a great idea. People need to know what the date is. Although last time I was in Benji's office, what was it you I was talking to that I texted?
Well, you had me guess what page it was on.
What page his calendar at his office was on, and I believe it was like on June of last year.
See, I don't necessarily. I mean, sometimes I'll use my paper calendar for that, but I think it's actually really good if you have a daily goal. Having a paper calendar to like mark an X on is, I recommend it.
X as in I am not going to make this goal, right?
No, X as in I did my daily goal.
To like cross off. That is true. That is inspiring. That is inspiring. I agree. My watch does that. It's only for a week, but you can see every week when you hit the daily step goal, and it's nice to see it all solid. At this point, I'm surprised Harmonious Kite Tails Rivers of Light aren't on there. Yeah, it's been a stellar few years. A stellar few years for outdoor entertainment at Walt Disney World. If you like to eat, Kyle likes to eat. Right? What is a croissant donut? Are you familiar with the concept?
I'm familiar with the concept of a croissant donut called a cronut. Yeah, and I guess they've had them at Walt Disney World at Epcot, and it's coming back, according to the Disney Eats Instagram, the best logo of any Disney brand. They've announced that this is coming back to, is it at Connections Cafe? It's somewhere in Epcot,
yes,
for sure.
Connections, yes. Best logo. You mean this one?
Yeah.
You don't like it?
No, that's actually not the one. It's basically the same, except that they put it in a Mickey head.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
On it, at least it looks a little bit better than when they first announced it. You're like, really? That's what you're going
there
with?
It is. There it is. It looks a little simple.
A little bit.
I'm not saying I would have thought of this because I wouldn't have, but even if I'm capable of creating it, it might be a little too simple.
Graphic art is my passion.
Maybe there's stuff there I'm not noticing. Let's see what else we got today. Lorcana. All right, Kyle, this is all you, buddy.
Okay, so Disney Lorcana is premiered at Gen Con. It is going to be released tomorrow to local game stores, so small independent stores, as well as the Disney parks. And that includes Disneyland Paris. So here you see, it's called the first chapter in the United States, but these say, presumably, I thought there'd be a la, but just premiere chapter. So I really want to go to France and get some French cards now. That sounds like a thing. But yeah, at the domestic parks, you can find these tomorrow, or your local game shop. They'll be coming to larger retailers like Target and things like that on the September 1st. But I did want to show, so these cards were given to me by Ravensburger. And you can see I got to interview artist Nicholas Cole, so he signed one of my cards for me. But what's cool is that each card has a, I don't know if you can see because I have a protector on it, but this is a little foil version. So it kind of is shiny. So when you buy the booster packs, you'll get at least one foil card. And there's also some that come in the starter decks. So I bought a few booster packs, but then Ravensburger also gave me some starter decks and stuff. So that's mostly what you're seeing. But yeah, I really like the art on some of these. I'll just kind of randomly flip through and I figure out which hand is which. And playing the game, let me see if I can find some more of the shiny ones, because I like the shiny ones. I also really like this. This is just one. So there's 3 different starter decks. And when you play, you'll play with 2 different deck colors. You can mix and match, but there's 6 different colors, and you can choose 2 to be in your deck for standard play. So this is a cool Aurora that you can see has these like shimmery parts. Or this Simba. Whoa, colorful. So yeah, I mean it's a game that's not. I didn't find it to be terribly hard to learn, but it mastering it is a different story. Like I feel like if I were to play against someone who was also brand new to these types of games, that we'd be able to figure it out and have a good time. But I think if you're familiar with how other card games work, like Magic the Gathering, I think you're going to have an advantage, even if you don't know how to play this game specifically. Just knowing how those type of games work, I feel will probably be a good head start. This one's cool. Another foil cards with marshmallow. So yeah, I really love the art on here. That was actually like, I think the game is fun. I don't see myself necessarily playing it often or going to these local game stores to play against people, but I do really like the trading card element of it. So I think it'll be a big hit. It was huge at Gen Con. It was the talk of the convention. People were waiting overnight to buy some of these cards first. So yeah, keep an eye out for that starting tomorrow at local game shops and then coming to larger retailers on the 1st.
Do you have an idea of what this costs?
So I do have the pricing list somewhere, but I know the booster packs are like $6. So that's what you'll pay at certain places. I don't know. Individual game stores might need to mark it up so that they get, a better margin, but it should be between $6 per pack. I think the starter decks are more, but those come with 2 fulls. You get 60 cards basically, plus a booster pack.
I see one website, the Hobby Hub, selling they call it the first chapter starter deck, Amber and Amethyst, for $38.99. But then another one's selling the first chapter gift set, which I don't know how that differs, for
there's a few
$80.
Yeah, so there's a few different things. So this card holder, this is a box that's actually sold separately. There's also some play mats with different art on them, like basically like a large mouse pad. You can basically think of it as. They have those, so that's probably in a gift set. And then like I said, there's 3 starter decks. So there's one that's Amber Amethyst, which is 2 different colors. Steel Sapphire, I think is what it is, and then another one, Ruby Emerald, I think.
I love that they're selling them through hobby shops first, and just have to wait a couple weeks before you can get them at the big places. That's really cool.
The co-designer of the game was saying, it's those local places where people are where they're really going to push it. They're going to teach people how to play and have these events and really teach people to play the game. So that's why they wanted to show their support for them first before these cards just go everywhere. So yeah, definitely a cool thing. Kind of funny that they'll be at Disney parks too. It's like at small retailers and Disney parks.
I would love for little games to break out right there on Main Street. That'd be so cool. But right now, just Disneyland Paris?
No, all Disney parks and Disneyland Paris. I just thought it was cool that they're going to Disneyland Paris as well, and that they'll have French versions of the cards.
Gotcha. So all Disney parks tomorrow?
Yes, that's what's been announced at least. I don't quite know where, but
that's cool. Yeah, put that on someone's to do.
No, I probably just buy a few. I don't need a ton of French cards. By the way, not fun fact, just a fact. Did you know that in France, the standard playing cards have different lettering because it's not like king, queen, and things like that. And also their aces is just a 1.
Really?
Yeah,
is
I
it
bought
still,
a pack of playing cards. I think I have them over there, but
is it still worth 11 in blackjack? 1 or 11, you still get to choose, or?
I would hope so. Yeah.
Because it says 1 on it. That seems pretty limiting. I would be pretty upset if I were an ace.
Yeah.
Don't pin me down. What is your preferred game in Vegas?
Blackjack.
Blackjack. Do you keep track of things?
No, I mean, I can do that a little bit. I mean, so a common misconception about that is you don't actually keep track of what every card is. You just keep track of certain cards and the value of, like, go plus or minus. But no,
I read the book.
it's way too hard, and I can't even keep track. Like, it's still intimidating. I've played blackjack a few times at live tables now, and it's still intimidating for me. So half the time I can't even keep track of what I and the dealer both have in terms of what it adds up to, let alone trying to keep track of everybody else's cards and what the values are. So
Have you read Have you read the book Bringing Down the House by any chance?
Yeah.
Best book I've ever read. So good.
It's very good.
And I don't try to play blackjack. Let's see. Universal Studios Orlando is right next to Islands of Adventure, and Islands of Adventure had released, for the first time, I believe, an official soundtrack.
I don't know if it's the first time, but this is something that they teased earlier in the week, and here it is. So now you can listen to several different pieces of music. It looks like 24 different pieces
24?
of music.
Yeah. Is this just on YouTube?
I haven't found it on Spotify yet. I was looking, maybe not as well as I could, but yeah, this is the link when the official Universal Orlando Resort Twitter tweeted it. They shared the playlist on YouTube. So.
I'm trying to see what Skipper Island tours. So even some stuff that's not there anymore. Got some Seuss Landing, Circus McGurkus, which I've heard that soundtrack way too much. Being there with Gideon, Lost City, Sinbad, Camp Jurassic. This is fun. I need to make sure Gideon, he probably has all this anyway because the stuff appears on YouTube other ways, but make sure he knows about this. He loves listening to theme park BGM while he goes about his day. So I'm gonna send him a Discord right now. Excuse me while I Discord my son, even though he's on an airplane right now. All right, next up today is, I think that's it for our real news. Got 2 more days of Adventure by Disney to go through, so I'm going to do one of those right now. Hey, Tony. How you doing? No, what did he say?
Before the grand finale tomorrow.
He said read the post. So Tony said read the post in Slack, which is what I ask people to do. So I'm going to look at the post and see. As of press time, it is only available as a YouTube playlist with the music playing against the video backdrop of the original park logo. It is a combination of both issues of the album, leaving no track behind. So there have been 2 different Universal soundtracks released in the past, apparently. So thank you, Tony, for calling me out on that. I do appreciate it. As he says, I have answered each of your questions. That's why we're a team here. And you can't spell team without
right
Tony.
Before we came on the air, and I like to pay attention. Unlike some people, I like to pay attention when I'm on live.
I need that thing that makes my eyes always look this way. And that would solve all the problem. All right, so as you know, if you've been paying attention the past few days, I went on an Adventures by Disney trip to Wyoming, my very, very first Adventures by Disney, and I've been I wrote extensive trip reports, 7 different trip reports, 1 per day on Laughing Place. They finally finished posting yesterday. Thank you, Kyle, so much for getting those up and doing all the editing and all that. But I've been going through them quickly here, just a couple minutes to go through each day. So we are up to day 6 right here, another day at Brooks Lake Lodge, the beautiful Brooks Lake Lodge. It is the last day. This picture is actually taken later in the day, so I'm just going to skip it for now. But we started off with a nice breakfast buffet.
Wait, I don't have my banner ready.
We started off with the breakfast buffet. As always, the breakfast buffet at Brooks Lake Lodge, we had 3 of them, changed each time. Always very yummy. I do not remember what the one was on the 3rd day. Yeah, the basics were the same, but like a different flavor grits. One of them I remember had French toast.
How many times did you say "kiss my grits"?
None, but I do remember thinking it. So the big activity on the last day was the big hike, and that was a hike to the top of Brooks Mountain. We did not go.
Proud of you. That's so cool that you did a big hike.
Yeah, we did not go. I went back and forth on whether or not to go. I know I could have done it. I just didn't know if I wanted to do it. And I think I made the right decision not doing it. It was a challenge. Multiple people, many of whom hike on a fairly regular basis, said this is the most difficult hike they've ever done. But I know what kind of shape I'm in. I know who did complete it. I could have completed it, but I think I would not have had fun. There were quite a few bugs as well. That's what was really driven me crazy. But I'm so proud of the people who I barely know who did it and feel so accomplished, and very happy about that. So it was a big hike to the top of Brooks Mountain. I think it was only like a couple of miles, but major elevation change. Just hiking uphill over and over and over. And it's funny, on the way to the airport, they showed us, okay, because they drove to the hike location. They said, okay, this is where the hike starts. And it's literally like you just pull over from the freeway, and there's this tiny trail that goes up a mountain, and that's where the hike starts. And I just thought that was very hilarious. You literally are just pulling off the side of the freeway to start the hike. All right, so anyway, these are the people who were braver than I who went on the hike. Everyone made it up. This is our wonderful guide, Casey. That's Lou Mangello's wife right there. And then there's another of the Brooks Lake Lodge guides who went up on the hike. So this is the adventure guide. This is the Brooks Lake Lodge guide. And this is Lou Mangello's wife, Deanna. Lou Mangello made it. This was such a big deal, him doing this hike. He wanted to do it with his family. Lou Mangello, if you know him, is not known for his exercise prowess. And this was the most difficult thing he's ever done in his life physically, he has said repeatedly. But he did make it, and I just love this picture that the guys took of Lou Mangello achieving it. Because way down at the bottom there, that's Brooks Lake there. That's the canoe where Rebecca and Gideon were canoeing, way down at the bottom of the hill there.
They say calories don't count in Wyoming.
Could you burn them off? So this is another great view from the top of the mountain. Meanwhile, while they were doing that, Gideon and Rebecca decided today is the day for them to ride horses. I could not ride a horse, sadly. There's a 250-pound weight limit, and I ain't even close. But
I don't know if I should correct you. That's not a blue duck. That's a horse.
Gideon's horse was named Blue Duck. Rebecca's horse was named Dracula. And they got a quick orientation, got on their horses, and they were off. Dang, this is so pretty. Man, I miss Wyoming. They enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. Gideon, on the previous day, there were tons of people doing the horseback ride, and the guides were pointing out all kinds of stuff, and it was really interactive. This time it was just the two of them, and it was just kind of quiet. And Gideon, he enjoyed it, but he said it just wasn't much happening. So they went out for a ways. And since there was no one else, they asked if they could go back, and they did. So he enjoyed the horseback riding. He'd had enough, ready to come back. Rebecca's done it before, so it wasn't a big deal for her. So that was the horseback. While they were horseback riding, I was just relaxing at the lodge. I played some fetch with this little cute guy here. As I said yesterday, there were dogs all over the lodge hanging out. And we played fetch for quite a while. He played fetch much better than my old dog did. When he comes back, he actually drops the ball. Whereas Happy, I have to yank it out of his mouth. Like, it's not a game. It is a game, but that's not the game. The game is supposed to be fetch. This dog understood. This dog understood. After they came back on their horses, I went and met him over there, and we're walking back to the lodge, and our guide Dusty was there. And Dusty had previously said, because I told him how I didn't enjoy canoeing, and it was kind of hard to go up and down the hill, and Dusty said, I'll take Gideon canoeing if he wants to go canoeing. So Dusty was there. He didn't go on the hike. Only Casey went on the hike, and so we asked him, would you really go canoeing with Gideon? He's like, of course I will. And this was the highlight of the trip for Mr. Gideon Mosley, as he went out on the canoe, just him and Dusty. Dusty, in addition to being an adventure guide, is what they call a parade captain, and has been in parades at Magic Kingdom forever, and has done everything you can do in that department, including traveling all over doing parades around the country and even the world, I believe. So Gideon and Dusty got to talk Disney for over an hour while canoeing around, and this was easily the highlight of my son's trip. It was so incredible.
Are those the official life vests?
They just have life vests at Brooks Lake Lodge, so I'm assuming they just went to Bass Pro Shop to purchase them. So they may have some other ones.
Disney connection all of a sudden.
They may have some other ones up there too, but these are the ones they put on. These are not Disney life vests. So I just want to thank Dusty for spending the time with Gideon, making him feel special, and such a good time. Thank you. It was great. Lunch, finally, I tried this salad. They had the salad on the menu. I'm not going to waste lunch on a salad. It was peaches, it was tomatoes, it was, I think, goat cheese in the middle. This salad was the single best thing I ate on this entire trip. And I'm kicking myself for not getting it all 3 days. 2 days that we had lunch there. Only got it the second day. It was amazing. And it was a stupid salad. Let's see. This is the crew after they came back from the hike. They all made it. They all survived. They all succeeded. So proud of all of them. Let's see. And then so we had a smaller lunch because they were still on the hike during lunch. They had PB&J while we were having real lunch, but they did the hike. They also had a whiskey tasting when we came back. I found out something interesting. I was talking to the general manager of the location, and because I noticed that like we rarely drink. There weren't many drinkers there, and he said on a typical stay at Brook Lakes Lodge of this size group, they do about $5,000 in alcohol sales. When Adventure by Disney comes up here, they do about $1,000 in alcohol sales. So ABDers are not big drinkers apparently. So we actually had two alcohol events there. We had this whiskey tasting, and we had on our final dinner, they included wine, which otherwise alcohol was not included. So I'm wondering if that's something that ABD does, Disney does, to kind of make up for the fact that they know there's not going to be a lot of alcohol sales. But the whiskey tasting was great. I tasted a tiny sip of each one, but the best part was the accompanying food that they had. They encouraged everyone to come, even if you weren't a drinker, because you will enjoy the food, and I very much enjoyed it. Learned about whiskeys. The general manager of the hotel, who's also a sommelier, was the one who conducted it and taught us quite a bit. I mean, whenever someone's passionate about something, it becomes interesting, even if it's not actually interesting to you. So really glad I went and got to appreciate that. Even Gideon's back there watching it. And then Gideon and I discovered there's a dartboard. Walked by it for 3 days, never saw it. So we played darts for a while. Took a little, I'm tired. And then it was dinner time. Our guides came back out dressed in their Wyoming best. Got some pictures with them underneath, who's that? Melvin over there. Gideon got the elk for dinner. No, I'm sorry, this is me. My cauliflower brick, which was great. Cauliflower bricks are always good, and especially at Brook Lake Lodge. Gideon got the elk, which he still talks about how incredibly good. He loved it. He loved it just like that. He raved over this elk and how much he loved it. Go figure. And then they sent us out to have dessert, which was weird. I'm like, why are they sending us out to have dessert? But I should have been thinking ahead. And then they brought us back in, and they had reset the seats up in like theater style so they could do like a final finale kind of thing for the last night. Of course, it's Disney. Of course they will. And just before that started, the general manager came in and said, everyone, go outside, quick. And there's a moose. So we finally saw bison the previous day. We had seen one elk earlier in the trip, and finally got to see a moose. It was a little baby moose, but there it was.
Just one moose.
Just one moose.
Not much moosing.
Traipsing all over the place, but we got lots of pictures of the moose and watched them for quite a while. And then we came back in.
Oh, wait,
they said, am I messing up or something?
No, are you reading the?
Oh, you have to. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, the shirt I'm wearing in these pictures was provided by Roosevelt. Thank you very much. Wow.
So right before you put this up, I accidentally palmed the clicker and put it up.
Seating, and so at the beginning of the trip, they had went around and asked everyone, what are you most looking forward to this trip? And everyone's like, I'm looking forward to the horseback riding, the big hike, whitewater rafting. And then this time they said, right, tell us what you were looking forward to, and then tell us what the highlight of your trip was. And this time around, everyone's highlight, and I mean without fail, was just spending time with everyone else and getting to become friends with everyone else in the group, and that kind of time for me, it was like the poker and just hanging out with everyone playing poker and making new friends. And that's kind of, par for the course from what I understand from ABD. You get attached to these people, and it was really cool. And I've become Facebook friends with so many of them.
Except for that one guy.
And and there were a lot of tears. The tears started early going around the room, and there's one guy there, I'm not going to call him out, but just a guy, typical guy throughout the whole week. And then it comes to his turn, and he just immediately starts crying, and you're like, wow, this is something. So the guides put together a slideshow, as I mentioned before. They take pictures throughout the whole thing. They give us all of those pictures. I've got hundreds and hundreds of pictures that the guides took of stuff I never even knew, which is wonderful. But they also put together a slideshow that they showed us at the end, because Disney knows how to well up those tears. And then, of course, we could not close out without one more game of poker. Another tournament. Lou was the first one out this time. After winning the previous day, this time the first one out. Linda, who that first night said, do you mind if I play? Older lady, very quiet while she played. She cleaned up on that last night. Yep.
Even
she cleaned up on that.
Mule next turn.
She did clean up on that last night. So I'm so glad she won. That was so much fun. And that was day 6 of my adventures by Disney. Tomorrow will be very quick. We just said goodbye. And then I'll just give some final thoughts on ABD. But again, you can go read that in much more detail, all 7 days right now on Laughing Place. As someone who's read every one of these, Kyle, anything you wanted to say about them other than what you said already?
I like that echo. No, I thought it was interesting. I thought you did a good job. Like, there's definitely a lot of detail, but I wasn't like, oh my god, dude, I don't care. So that's a compliment.
Okay, I'll take it. I love when I'm going on a cruise. I can't do it when I'm not going on a cruise because it's too depressing, but when I have a cruise I'm looking forward to, I love to go read detailed trip reports. The more detail, the better. I want to know about where you slept the night before you got on the ship and what the breakfast was like at some hotel I'll never go to. It puts me there. And so I was trying to do a little bit of that here. I'm glad I didn't go too overboard. Okay, let's go with, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do it after this day of history. Let's do this.
Okay. I'm so excited to find out what this is.
No, I'm going to do it now. Open your pocket
okay.
pick. Sorry. I should have been more prepared for that. I wasn't going to do a pocket pick today, but then
okay.
I want to talk about this one. So I thought it was so cool.
Oh, that's the wrong theme song.
Oh yeah, you could play the theme song while I'm getting it ready.
Okay. Let me do that and keep on vamping badly.
So Sean J, 1997, wants to make this happen. And he's got 1.7 million likes on this already. I think it's actually going to happen. Let's listen. This is from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Of course. I can squeeze you in at 7:30. Perfect. On November 16th, 2023. That's in 15 years.
So, they want everyone to comment on their posts, push stuff to them at exactly 7:30 p.m. on November 16th, 2023. When that came out, that was 15 years ago, but now we're only a couple of months away. And I just think that's hilarious that someone picked up on that and is trying to start this thing, and it's apparently getting a ton of traction. So do that. And we're gonna certainly do an article on LP leading up to it, and who knows, maybe we'll do something fun ourselves too. But I just love little stuff like that. So anyway, now let's get to
I'm glad this day is finally coming though, because there's for years there've been all those memes like today's the day that Zach and Cody made a reservation for a restaurant. It's never right, they Photoshop the flux capacitor.
Fun fact. Sweet Life of Zach and Cody was probably my son's favorite non-toddler show, tween show, whatever you want to call it. He has seen them all, including On Deck, multiple times. Still occasionally puts them on. Huge fan of Sweet Life, and I kind of like it too. It's a cute show. All right, on this day in Disney history, 1986. Tony, if you're still out there, this one's for you. Something premiered in Dallas. There's no easy way to do this one. It's a short, I'll put it that way. A short premiered in Dallas, an animated short.
In 1986.
1986, an animated short premiered in Dallas. So you're in the right Luxo Jr., yes. Pixar's first short as an independent company is how I read it. Luxo Jr. kicked it off.
Disney was not there.
Disney was they may have been there at the event, but.
Well, yeah.
All right. If you get this one, Kyle, I will buy you dinner every night for the next week.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's not going to happen. So,
in 1990, a Disney Channel premiere film debuted. The film. Okay. What did Tony say? Disney clearly taking ownership on that title. Disney Pixar Luxo Jr.
Or six, however many billions of dollars for that title card.
Okay, the film features Leo Wheatley and Charles Miller as a pair of orphans, and veteran actor Charlton Heston as their grandfather. tells the story of two young orphan boys who travel by themselves from the old country to join their father's family in Canada. There, they encounter their stern disciplinarian grandfather.
The great grandfather North.
Oh, you were so close. I thought I was going to be spending money I don't have. It is The Little Kidnappers.
So close.
All right, you're going to get this
I
one.
got the word "the." Is that what oh no, he knows the first article.
On this day in 2001, a Disney Channel original movie, a sequel. This may help you a lot. A sequel to the 1999. You will soon find out how funny that is. A sequel to the 1999 Disney Channel original movie Horse Sense. This movie stars brothers Joey Lawrence, Andrew Lawrence, and Matthew Lawrence. I didn't know there were three. Michael has big plans to show his cousin Tommy a good time aboard a luxury yacht until he discovers that the yacht he's chartered is actually an old rusted fishing boat. That is...
I forget. I don't know.
That is called Jumping Ship.
All right.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. And finally, on this day in 2007, a Disney Channel original movie premiered. A sequel.
High School Musical 2?
Way to go, Kyle. You are so clairvoyant. Good job. 2007, the High School Musical craze at its peak.
Before
That's
3
it.
went theatrical.
3 went theatrical, and now we've got High School Musical, the musical, the series, which apparently is not what it once was.
I don't know if... Probably the last... I think we have 2 more. I think there's 8 episodes, so I think Marshall has 2 more recaps. He's been doing one daily. I don't know if he'll combine the last 2 because Disney Press, for some reason, combined the last 2. But I don't think that's what he's doing. We'll see.
All right. Take a quick check of the Twitterverse, see if anything has popped since we're
There's
on
a
here.
Carnage cover, so I mean,
Oh, I forgot something very important. Oh man, what's wrong with me?
I don't know.
Where'd it go? Oh,
Just make noises. Good.
I had a Twitter. All right, I'm gonna find it. Nah, I'm not gonna find it. It wasn't that important.
Did the THR thing?
Yeah,
It's
What
on the
happened to
sheet.
it is.
Oh, it was on the sheet. I don't know. Just hit Control Z if a bunch.
That's what I'm doing actually. But it was on here.
This is hilarious.
There it is.
Yeah. I don't even know what it is. I just know that it was there.
All right, here we go. Get excited,
guess
folks.
it's-
That's not it. That's not
Why?
it. That's even scarier. That's definitely not it. There we go. The MonsterVerse is coming. The first pictures from the Godzilla MonsterVerse, which I will give you the name of in just a second. Is that who I think it is?
Yeah,
Yeah. Jumping Ship.
that's the name of the movie.
So Apple TV, this is from the Hollywood Reporter, Apple TV has offered up some tantalizing details as well as the first photos from its upcoming series based on Legendary's Godzilla MonsterVerse, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. And there you go. Can't believe I almost forgot that. So important. Yeah, Carnage, we're not showing that one. That's pretty disgusting. Wow. All right, I think that's it.
Stay tuned.
Whoa, Scott Gustin with I guess it's not technically news, other than the news is it's not news, but he's a reliable source, so we're going to go with this. He is saying that Rogers the Musical will end its run on August 31st and won't be extended at this time, Disneyland officials have confirmed to the Orange County Register and Brady McDonald. And there you go.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people, it's huge. It's successful, as far as we can tell. It's certainly good and popular, and I think we
Yeah, it's
all
not
kind of
extending
assume
its run, but it doesn't mean it won't come back. Those are
it might, but still, just the fact that it's not extending at all. Generally, in the past, the Hyperion Theater ran all year. It wasn't like a summer location. And so the fact that they are closing it, at least for now, is a
I
bit
think there's
news.
another shoe to drop. I think we're going
Yeah.
to learn something else going into that theater, or what that theater will be used for during the Halloween and possibly Christmas seasons.
And that will be big news too. And that this gives some credence to that. But for those of you thinking, it's going to be there when I get there in September, there's no way they're not going to extend it. Sorry, folks. They're not. But hopefully, as you said, it will come back at a later time because it's gotten rave reviews. So, there we go. That's our show. Let's say goodbye.
Bye.